Welcome back to American Agenda. Our next guest is a father who is fighting to remove a sexually explicit book from schools after a graphic novel by a non-binary author was found in the school library. Terry Newsome went to his school board meeting at Downers Grove's Community High School in District 99 in Illinois, stating his issues with the book's explicit imagery. Now, the board held two meetings, ultimately deciding to keep the book on the library shelves. Joining us now to talk more about it is the Illinois father himself, Terry Newsome. Terry, thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. Take us through some of your specific concerns about this book.
So, first and foremost, many of the parents, I have freshman twins that are in Downers Grove High School, and it's my first exposure to the board. And all the parents that are concerned about what's going on with respect to these books have nothing to do with sexuality, anti-gay, transgender at all. It has to do with the pornography it's unnecessary to help a child coping with their sexuality, regardless of what it is. We don't think that, I know we can't show some of the images that are on there. They're very graphic and unnecessary. If a child needs coaching or help coming out, there's books for that. And matter of fact, there's a book, The Time I Knew I Was Gay, and we were very supportive of that book because it didn't have the graphic pornography that Gender Queer has. Mm-hmm. And the school board and superintendent says, under inclusivity, to be inclusive to this community, they think it's okay to have this type of graphic sexual material, which I don't understand how you correlate that into coming out and the obstacles, the challenges of being a young person mm-hmm. in high school, having to cope with, sharing your sexuality.
So, you and other parents expressed concern about this book, but the library or who decided to keep it? I mean, who ultimately has the authority to determine what is or is not in your child's school?
Yeah, so we had a somewhat informal appeal with the two principals and the two librarians, and it's the librarians, which we learned as parents. They picked, the Illinois Board of Education has a collection of books, and the principal said, we rely on our experts in this field, they pick the books for us. We asked them, could you please define your definition of pornography? Librarians looked at each other. They said, we don't know. And I'm like, you're kidding me. We were just told by your principal that you're the experts, and we have a meeting on pornography that the whole country knows about, and you come not knowing it. And she goes, well, I could get back to you. So it's a little bit, if you do that in a business meeting and you go to have a meeting about a specific topic, you think you'd be prepared, especially when these experts are allowing certain material into question. It's our children's school. Now,
there's been a lot of response to your effort, including from Antifa.
Correct. Before the board meeting a month ago, there was social media posts, Antifa, Proud Boys. They said they were going to come and disrupt the Proud Boys. Antifa was posting images. And at the night of the meeting, there was a few hundred people in there. And Antifa was in the meeting. They were taking pictures of myself and another father whose picture was put on social media like mine. And he was receiving threatening phone calls. Last night, Antifa was putting pictures about me up, calling me white supremacist, racist, homophobic, everything to try to distract from the whole purpose of what our concerns are. And these people are working with the left, with the school board, with the superintendent. They're very collaborative. The one woman, Mary Lemansky, you probably saw was national news. She's part of the Democratic Party of DuPage County, and she posted images of Waukesha of those kids and people being massacred, and she thought it was funny.
Wow.
They forced her to resign, but that's the same mother that sits in the audience next to us telling us pornography is okay.
We've been seeing parents, across this country being targeted once they, do step up and address the school boards with their concerns about what is going on inside their children's school. What are your thoughts on that finally as we wrap up? Parents being targeted, and at the same time, though, parents becoming more involved in their child's school, which is a good thing.
Yeah, typically it's been a lot of mothers doing this, right? Now the fathers are stepping up. We had an opportunity before the last board meeting by a local news channel to speak up, and we had a number of people willing to speak up. They all backed off because they're scared of the retribution and the things that are happening to me. They're scared they're going to be labeled homophobic. There's a lot of parents that are behind the scenes, but they're scared because the left controls the social media, the narrative, the boards, and everything. And they're concerned for the very same things that are happening to me and some of the other fathers. And we need people to stand up and fight for our children.
Yeah. So
We're
what
losing the
happens
war.
next? What happens next with your specific situation in this book?
So we filed the Open Meetings Act, and it looks like the state's attorney's investigating it. What they did was they punished us. We had over 200 people in a brand new multi-million-dollar facility. Superintendent on his own said, hey, we're only going to let 20 people come in. Going forward, we had all these security risks. We got to be careful, COVID. We did FOIA requests from the police department. There was zero security concerns with the police. There was no files, nothing complaints. So he took this on his own to say, hey, screw your parents. We don't want to hear from you anymore. We're going to push all of you into this little facility that was not designed to host this many people, and too bad.
Yeah. So you're still waiting, and you still have some avenues, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. They're not going to intimidate us. Actually, it's making us more resolved to fight harder.
All right. Well, Terry Newsome, definitely let us know what happens next. We appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.